Next speaker, Professor Venkata N. Joshi, sir. Dr. Venkata N. Joshi, sir, is a distinguished Ayurveda practitioner and educator based in London, UK. Sir has hold a PhD in herbal pharmacology from Gujarat Ayurveda University, where he also earned his MD. Since 2003, he has been director of the Association of Ayurveda Academy and promoting traditional Indian health practice across the UK and Europe. His extensive teaching career includes role at several universities such as Thames Valley University and the Middlesex University, as well as the international engagement in the online courses with Europe Ayurveda Academy. Dr. Joshi sir has contributed significantly to Ayurveda education, teaching postgraduate diploma studies at College of Ayurveda UK Limited. Sir is actively involved in the various professional organizations. He received the title of Ayurveda Ratna for his contribution to Ayurveda in UK Parliament. He is also involved with the all-party parliament group of Indian Traditional System of Medicine and served as an advisory board for the institution in India. Dr. Joshi sir works as a keynote speaker at the international conferences and contributes Ayurveda literature and initiative promoting Ayurveda integration into the national health policies. Sir continues to the advanced Ayurvedic practices globally through the workshop education program across the Europe. With this brief view, I request Sir, please enlighten us with your word of wisdom. Sir, this is yours.
Namaha, Gurutulya, Uniyal sir, respected all dignitaries, convener Dr. Ramachandra Reddy sir, my senior staff, colleagues, and dear students. And it is for the students, and I see the students not fully present here, and it is your responsibility. And these conferences are nothing but to motivate you, educate you, bring awareness, information beyond the classroom. That is the most important thing. Studentship is most precious time, day by day, hour by hour. Without your efforts, it is very hard to reach into the destinations what you dream for. Because I was also like you, but as an average student coming from school and graduation as well, like that I was not interested in any classrooms, wondering about that why Vishnumurti is present in the Ayurveda college without knowing it is Dhanvantari. Situations are there, but all students should have that kind of exposure, at least to sit and hear what other people say, and then ambitions and achievements will follow. That is my experience as I started from rural areas and had first ever in my brain about emigrating into Western world. The reason why, because as an MD first year student in 1985 in Gujarat Ayurveda University, I am exposed to international conference in Taj Palace Hotel in New Delhi. My seniors took over there, and that's the reason why the thought in my brain was seeded, and then I was working for it. Constantly I was working for it until I achieved in 1989 to go into Johns Hopkins Medical University as a postdoctoral trainee in psychohormonal research unit. So that was the thing which is the stipendiary, and with the 2 years rule of immigration. I did not stay long. I came back with my personal commitments, but then efforts was there to emigrate again. So that should be the ambition in you, what you want to be. That was the toughest time when in 40 years of my age I immigrated on the credentials of Ayurveda degrees. And that is the ambition you should have. Now the doors are open, everything is much clear, as it is being said, into the advanced era where you are in this decade. The future Prime Minister Yogi ji and the Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji and their vision and their efforts since one decade now, and where this Ayurveda has to be proudly outreaching 150 countries among 195 countries. The trade, the significance of Ayur products from the cosmetic industry to the health industry, and so much of avenues are open for you as an entrepreneurship, Ayur entrepreneurship on different sectors. So you have to look into the extensive travel where it was the most essential thing in the past, as the name Charaka itself signifies. Without traveling, and it is difficult for you to get the experience, and the experience is the final evidence of knowing. That is the way the ambitions you have to keep and open your minds, and the opportunities are plenty. Into the 35 countries, not less than, Ayush Ministry has already signed up with the extensive research protocols, and MOUs being signed in the universities, and there are so many entry and requirements, like in the United Arab Emirates, and if you write some examinations, you are allowed to enter and practice in Dubai, or similarly in Switzerland, and also in Australia, much interested in Germany. These are the opportunities for you, with the challenges always there, because challenge is Ayurveda itself. When it has begun, you understood how juxtaposition of Ayurveda into the Sarvam Eva Hi Kalu Vividam Sat Asatya Tasya Pariksha Chaturvida. The reasons why, because Aptopadesha Pratyaksha Anumana Yuktis Cheti, the sequence what we follow into the evidential knowledge. The knowledge which is not based on the evidence, but the exponential experience of the knowledge being gained by the seers, expounded into the evidence. And that evidence has to be created now by means of our practices. The two dimensions of these practices, as our senior Niyal sir said, about the traditions, about the richness of the hierarchy, about the rural practices, traditional practices, Siddha Vaidyas, and they are the one who are bringing the utmost synergism into the practice of Ayurveda, because their practices based on the experience gained through the hierarchy in the generations, and the patent of these formulations which come with the compatibility into the processing, and that way the experience is being final into the practice, which will be gained for the evidence to be submitted into the scientific world. Is it not sufficient? The efficacies by the practice based evidence is gained and statistically proven, and it is not the way Ayurveda should reach into the research protocols of the conventional methods of explorations. It's not the double-blind clear studies or any other experimentations which Ayurveda will be thrive for the utility-based researchers. The researchers are there within ourselves to utmost bring the Ayurveda into the practices where unblemished practices with the good manufacturing practices, quality control and standards, efficacy. The safety is the protocols is the first, and then to the efficacy follows next. So we have so much to do in our own country, otherwise how anybody would recognize us. In National Health Service, over 2 decades now, where I am associated with the all party parliamentary group, there are more than 20 plus member of parliamentarians, houses of lords and peers supporting for the cause of Ayurveda and Indian traditional systems. Why did they do it? Because they have experienced their treatments being done. Bob Blackman from Harrow MP in Kerala having the treatments for his back, and Virendra Sharmaji from Southal, member of parliamentarian, coming to India and having experiences. Royal families, Prince Charles, as you know recently, every time he comes to Bharat from Australia, this time into the Bangalore, Saukyam hospitals, Isaac Mathai, and he is a homeopathy doctor. and he had a homeopathy school in Westminster University, and he is close to these royal families. And royal families take treatments in Goa, royal families take treatments in Kerala and Saukyam hospitals in Bangalore. None other than the celebrities like Akshay Kumar or recently Sidhuji, you know, openly saying about the benefits of Ayurveda. And all the celebrities, they take Ayurveda treatments. None of them they speak, including royal families. They don't. This kind of experience for our system, because we should be proud being an Ayurveda professional and uplift ourselves into the morale. When this institution has started, our beloved Yogiji, Pujya Maharajji, and he initiated only for Ayurveda. Though this infrastructure was meant for the medicine, and later on medicine is joined, as everybody thought about why everybody wished to join their children into MBBS. There are so many families who prioritized to go enter into Ayurveda, because Ayurveda is that subject to understand and learn or practice. We have this cause which comes out from past lives. Otherwise, nobody would be interested in Ayurveda. So the Ayurveda, as it is said, Shashwata by seers, and it will continue to exist. So what we are doing, Association of Ayurveda UK Limited, Europe Ayurveda UK, uh, Europe Ayurveda Academy, and Croatian Ayurveda Academy, and these three academies, my colleague Dr. Suresh Swarnapuri, he is executive director. I am director for UK. So we three are working through with the Indian embassies, and then community-based, community interest company registered with Companies House. For example, the burning problems, the issues, the children. We have to mentor the children for their health, because you see how children are born with the skin diseases, children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, and children with a lot of mental disabilities, autistic spectrum disorders, and then to the children with the booming obesity, childhood obesity. And these are the burning issues with the nutritional factors for the children to restore back from the thoughts of Ayurveda principles. So we go to schools and convince the teachers and the parents, have the community group or into the National Health Service hospitals, where the multi-faith programs, multicultural, multi-faith commemorations, and in those we talk and educate the children, educate the parents first, because we know it is the same what we can see, the fast food centers and then the fizzy drinks, junk foods, everything is a contribution, a fashion today. We lost our traditions even into the consistence of the nutrition supported by our traditional richness, and that has to be restored. What could be the traditional richness of the nutritional aspect? From the Shat Rasa Yukta Ahara, and understanding that the child taste, because taste is that 0 to 1 year age group, from the children, infants, 1 to 3 year age group, 3 to 7 year age group. These three ways of the interventions is being planned and executed by educating parents into the child health. That is the initiation community interest company we are doing. And what we are doing, this thought came when my grandchildren born in National Health Service hospitals. 3 children, and I wanted to see first ever in the hospitals, and these maternal wards filled with the breast milk pumped into the refrigerations. And even after discharging, mothers are advised, because it's a working woman, and they breast milk, pump it and keep it in the fridge next to feed the children. This is the situation where the unawareness about the health, how Ayurveda simplicity gives you Shankavat Stanya Dugdam, and it is the simple testing of a drop into the distilled water, and educate them to show practically what it is, and how multicolored milk is being stored over there. And this is the basic education that parents should get. They don't understand. the NHS or the trusts or hospitals, they don't understand. This way of identifying the loopholes for the health in the awareness for the communities. And then what is that Stanya, Shodhana, Ganas? Simply we have. And all those things into the food as a nutrition basis, advices for the parents. You call about any herb and you will get in the London. Herbal Veda centers to all the herbs are available because the communities like Gujarat community, Punjab community, Bengal community, South Indian communities, these communities interested in their traditions, coming in their familial recognition of these kitchen remedies, home remedies, and all the herbs are being traded as the food supplements. And you go to the grocery stores, you get musta, and this is Nagaramota. This is a wonderful homeopathic substance, and then for the mothers to feed with the gogruta and with the takra, and you name the mandukaparni, freshly available from Sri Lanka, gotukola, and madam knows about gotukola, and also the plant which grows in Kerala, Sri Lanka, kitul ivarai. Treacle kittle is Caryota urens. Caryota urens tree. I used to work in the Gambha Vikramarcha Ayurveda Institute in Sri Lanka. After the classes for the PG faculty, we used to go and have this kittul porridge. That was the ever first I tasted wonderful recipe kittul porridge. What it is all about. Because ultimately you see how the sugars heal. The sugars make the problems with the metabolism, the sugars which are much more into the form of this, whatever the fructose, glucose, lactose or galactose or different forms of the sugars which are coming through from the floral to the plant substances and being used sensibly. For example, kittul, why I said kittul, simplicity. In our practices, food as a medicine into the sources of the quality, what we take into consideration. Lime, lemons and lime. Lime is a green skinned, thin skinned, and which is more therapeutic than the lemons, and which are not the bigger ones. And then lime juice, which is saturated with the kittul jaggery. From Sri Lanka, J brand, Leela brand, and so many other brands trade the kittul jaggery, which is much precious. Later on, they also started adulterating it. And we have testing for the children, students, and we open the kittul jaggery in two pieces and then see if there is any color variations or there is any spot variations of this matter, which is discolorations or like wound-like appearances, and then keep a piece into the hygroscopic for the testing into the kitchen. And if there is no hygroscopy and the shining which is there glittering with no any discolorations or added substances, then the kittul is the dark and good extract. That simplified sugar and which is coming from Caryota urens is enriched into the saturation point and exposure to the blue glass. Somebody said about this radiation effect into the sunny areas. So this saturation of this lime juice and kittul is a simple combination. You experiment and see. And how best does it work into the cleansing effect, including varicosities, spider veins, hemorrhoids, digestive issues, constipation, skin diseases, and so much condition. So for the piles in the acute bleeding conditions, and we give this kittul treacle which is prepared with the lime juice in saturation. Saturation is no more jaggery dissolves into the fresh lime juice and exposed to the sunlight into the tilt of this glass as it is allowed kind of radiation, and that is sufficient to heal all because it is the cleansing the vessels, sroto shodhanam, which does affect smokers, arterial conditions and hepatic conditions. So this is the way, fatty liver conditions. So it's a very tasty food as a medicine, simple recipe. These are the ways we teach the students and do the practicals. And when you see Raktashali is the best for use, and how does this Raktashali being selected from French or the Spanish or Chinese or Sri Lankan or other country, different type of Raktashali without double blind, like all the students will have samples from the market. And they do the experiment of cooking it, how much is the time takes for cooking, how much is the water being consumed, and how much is that consistency, which is very sticky, gluey, and sweet. These are the parameters to set for longer time to cook, more water consumes, and more sticky and sweeter, and that is the best Raktashali is to be consumed for the health. So Raktashali and small mung, that's the mudga, and then the vellari, it is a gotukola. Only these three, after being given into the porridge basis, and it's a wonderful cleansing food. This is the way the food as a medicine will start and work. Educating into the NHS hospitals, and now in the NHS hospitals they started serving Gujarati community food. They understood, because it is every corner in London, you see, it is the curry houses. Why so many curry houses, Indian recipes, Indian curry is famous in the Western world. That is the taste. Coming back to the children to build the taste, because they are exposed to the sweet, nothing else. Donuts, sugar, maida, and fizzy drinks, and potatoes, nothing else. This is the way Indian culture is also, and KFCs are there, or so much of junk food centers are being opened now, and students are interested to go and have these foods. So this is the reason why, because 0 to 1 year age group to transformations by the education to the parents, educating to the mothers, and making their breast milk very clean. We know warmthness based testing, clarity based testing, color based testing, consistency based testing, and that is the way simple testings into the distilled water to show as an evidence for the mothers understand this is not healthy. Then give the musta, then give the vellari, then give, you have everything you can give. Two types of turmeric available, and curcuma jadoria is also available in traditional Chinese, and then simple basis of the amalaki, nishamalaki preparations. So we have nishamalaki preparations into the textures of different fatty acid based consistencies, because we understand this is the linseed based activities for metabolic activities, and pitta based activities for the coconut oil based, and vata based into the sesame oil, into the different proportions. Mustard oil is, sesame oil is all, and fatty omega factors, whatever it is there. And then the black seed oil, which is the most healing, nigella oil, small drops into that. So this is the experimentations to make and triturate into the fine texture of the paste of nishamalaki, and served as a chutney into the food for the parents or the mothers. So there are so much you can do as an innovative way of the practice as per the demand into the sources available, and that is the success to show into the community for the welfare. And that is what we are trying to do every time for the child health to the, and then because it is the food maps, because it is the taste buds are the same. In spite of the races and different genders, what we have into the global vicinity, that is the Ayushahar, as it is the entry into the awareness of Ayurveda. Ahara is the first. That's the way the food as a medicine is gut medicine, gut brain axis, gut health. They are using our terminologies, functional medicine, social prescriptions, gut brain axis, gut health to complement different names they are using. And if they get the Nobel Prizes on the basis of intermittent fasting, how many theories do we have? From the Chaturmasya levels to the Ekadashi to the different seasonal foods, everything is the prescription for the intermittent fasting. Into the day-to-day based Swastavruta and that Sadvruta, that is the most exemplified mental training sessions by counseling. Lobha Shoka Bhaya Krodha Mana Vegan Vidare Nirlajya Irsha Aziraga Vidyascha Manava. Starting from this Lobhatva and then educating the community. Because everyone is living with the Lobha. Everyone is stretching their carpets beyond their capacity. Everyone is living on the credit cards. Everyone is dreaming to be a celebrity lifestyle. That is nothing but the Lobha. And you have to educate them. You have to bring back their brains. So this is the way the counseling skills you can develop. So we are conducting in this May the counseling skills through the FBAA, Fellowship of British Ayurveda Academy. So many graduates are coming over, and then they will have these practical trainings and going to the centers like Kew Gardens, and you can see all the species of the live 30 to 40% of Ayurveda herbs, which is the tropical, subtropical, and rainforest being built into the Kew Gardens, and live demonstrations of the herbs. And what are the herbs which are grown wildly in UK and Europe? Chinopodium alba, Vastu Kishakam, everywhere it grows, and the varieties of the Changeri grows, Dadima it grows, Jati varieties it grows, and as it is going into the southern ways, and then a little bit of France, and then to the Croatia, even the Nirgundi basis is also coastal, it grows. So understanding what are the species which are available into the vicinity, into the wilderness, and how do we take them into the practice and education awareness into the programs. That is what we are doing with these community interest services. And just to scroll down, I have, it's not moving down. Okay. Yeah. This is for forward. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. Yeah, this is the parliament based functions, and every day, every time we have International Yoga Day, Ayurveda Day celebrations with different dignitaries coming over there, and that's all about me. And in being in Baltimore and Maryland, the traditional richness of the practices. And I saw in Baltimore markets in 1989 the old women selling the herbs. So the kind of traditional richness is there in every country. And we have to bring all these traditions and their practices and their experiences and their hierarchy into the oneness of the bringing as a global futuristic level of one health and one nation basis. And that is the Global Center for Traditional Medicine established in Jamnar, and that is the where WHO in Bharat collaborations we have to become as a hub already the Bharat to guide and make standards for all the traditions to be incorporated into the training, education, standards, practice, safety, trades. There are so much to do, and so much of traditions are live. In Croatia, if you go day to day based off the food products and beverages, they all have like cucumbers which are being into the brine, or the cabbages which are being into the brine, or some spices which are like the radish, horseradish into the brine. So these are the fermentation foods and fermented beverages. And why this shuktika, or the shadava, or different kind of preparations, because it is the gut care health being established by the fermentation foods. And that culture in Croatia is existing and live. So understanding those cultures and educate them what they are doing, and that's what we are all doing um, in UK. This is the ambassador in Croatia who supported us for community health too, and Dr. Suresh Swarnapuri, who is executing all our jobs. And that's the Bharat Ratna Award, and these are the parliamentary groups. So that's the way we have to make your innovative way of thinking into the extensive of the global health to restore back with the extensive ability, ambitions to travel and extensively share your knowledge without hesitation. That is what you students should learn, and promote yourself, raise yourself, work hard, and think beyond to the territories. That's the way only globalization is possible. Futuristic integrative protocol of the healthcare with the prevention, health promotion, rejuvenation into the longevity is possible in multiple sectors of the Ayur entrepreneurship. And if you have the business model and with the economy of the 200,000 pounds, and you can enter into the UK, establish a company and run the show. That is the way so much of countries with their protocols of the regulations, allowed you to do practice as a functional medicine based, Ayush Ahar based, food health based, restorations, lifestyle medicines, mind health, child health, and so much is there to expose and think about it. So thank you very much.
Now session is open for discussion.
Now we request chair and co-chair to felicitate the guest speaker, resource person for today's session.
यूज किया जाता है सर। आपके बहुत सारे पार्लियामेंटेरियन जो अभी इसमें दिख रहे थे हमको, सराज एंड अदर्स, इन सब समय प्राग में मिला था यूरोप में, और उस समय भी वहाँ के एम्बेसडर आए हुए थे पटेल जी, उनसे भी मेरी बात हुई थी। इसके बाद अभी फ्रांस में था, वहाँ भी मुझसे बात हुई, जो एम्बेसडर्स थे। मैंने कहा भाई आप इंडियन हो, एम्बेसडर हो आप यहाँ पे, व्हाई डोंट यू मेक ए पॉलिसी फॉर हर्बल ड्रग्स to be marketed in Western countries, not as a food supplement. Fundamental principle पे आप समझा सकते हैं, but on account of its therapeutic use, this should be pronounced and nominated and marketed as a medicine, not as a food supplement.
Medicine is ashwagandha, which started with the Ayush Ministry in
Yeah.
UK,
Yeah.
London School of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene,
Mhm.
and then this long-term post-COVID situations are being trialed, and that's being on the project now, sir. So then what happened? The repent started from the lobby, and then ashwagandha is banned from several European countries. This is the strategy. Because if you want to declare one as a medicine, for example, just to market, at least the product to be registered with the Medicines and Healthcare Regulatory Agency, 5,000 pounds, not less than, is a one registration process, which takes a huge time. And if the herb has to be established as a medicine in the West, then it has to go to the extensive trials. So millions of pounds. See, the China, what it does is cleverly, they pumped billions of dollars, and to the Kew Gardens, and then monographs of all the herbs of the traditional Chinese medicine. The reason why in every corner you have a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, traditional Chinese medicine shops, all the herbs available. But our herbs are not freely available. The reason is this, because it cannot be said, because our government did not pump billions. You pump billions, and the monographs paid from the Kew Gardens, and then all the herbs are being standardized from the CITES, current index of trade and endangered species, and MHRA, the controlling agencies, food controlling agencies, they approve, and then all herbs are being traded. So that is the reality, sir. And also Chinese government is giving 30 to 40% of subsidy for who start a clinic or center. Bharat Sarkar should do that. All the professionals who want to establish Ayurveda clinics in London, and they have to be subsidized, because they have to be subsidized and then given as a status that the you cannot pay every month the mortgage charges or this council tax charges exempted, because it's a charity based clinic. So these are the things government has to do. Our Sarkar has to do. China has done it. The reason why it is aggressor ho gaya hai. But we outnumbered Chinese students also in Middlesex University, sir. We outnumbered.
To you. अभी हमारे स्टूडेंट्स कितने हैं आपके यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में और यूएसए में? मेरे अपने खुद के 8 से 10 स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आप जानते भी होंगे। सबके साथ एक प्रॉब्लम है, दे आर हेल्थ काउंसलर्स, इवन दो दे आर अर्निंग अ लॉट ऑफ मनी, बट दे आर हेल्थ काउंसलर्स। हम वहाँ काउंसलर बन के थोड़ी जाएंगे, अपना करियर थोड़ी बर्बाद करेंगे। हमने आयुर्वेद मेडिसिन पढ़ी है, हम उसको यूटिलाइज करेंगे, घर में रहेंगे, नमक रोटी खाएंगे, लेकिन अपने पिता को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। सिर्फ हेल्थ काउंसलर बन के वहां रहेंगे तब तो मजा नहीं है। तो मेरा ये है, मेरा भी वहाँ पे जब प्राग में था मैं 2023 सितंबर में, तो वहाँ के लोगों से बात हुई, वो लोग नेक्स्ट डे वहाँ गए भी, पूरी हमारी प्रेसिडियम बोर्ड गई थी, मैं भी उसका मेंबर था। लेकिन समस्या ये है कि हमारे यहाँ ना तो इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट उतना फंड उसमें डालने को तैयार है, ना गवर्नमेंट हमारी इसको सोच के तैयार है, ना कोई इंस्टीट्यूशन ऐसे है जो कि इसकी उनके पैरामीटर्स पे रिसर्च करके बताए। मेरा उनसे टसल ये रहता है कि लिनिन एक है, प्रिंसिपल एक है, जब वो कपड़ा एक है तो मैं तुम्हारी नाप का कपड़ा क्यों पहनूंगा, मैं मेरी नाप का कपड़ा पहनूंगा। मेरे आयुर्वेद के जो पैरामीटर्स हैं मैं उस पे प्रूव करूंगा। तुम्हारी समझ में आयुर्वेद नहीं आएगी, आओ मेरे शिष्य बन जाओ, मैं तुम्हें आयुर्वेद पढ़ाऊंगा तो समझ में आ जाएगी। लेकिन ये नहीं है कि तुम्हारे प्रिंसिपल तो तुम्हारे पैरामीटर्स में मैं उसको उतारूं कि चलो इसमें देखो कि इसकी स्पेसिफिक ग्रेविटी क्या है। हम वो तो परीक्षण करके बताएंगे ना, जो उसमें बताया है विकृति विज्ञान में। तुम्हें जरूरत है तुम नापो ना, हम बता रहे हैं तुम नापो। लेकिन ये कह के कि आयुर्वेद में इसको ऐसा करना, तुम्हारे पैरामीटर्स पे ये करे वो करे, नहीं। हमारे यहाँ जो कुछ भी शास्त्रों में लिखा है बहुविध परीक्षा है, बहुत सारे ऑब्जर्वेशंस होने के बाद वो टेक्स्ट में लिखा गया है। अब इसके बाद क्या करोगे? हम दोस्त प्रकृति के परीक्षण के बाद उसको चिकित्सा देते हैं, उसको औषधि के रूप में करते हैं। गुरुजी है ठीक है, हम उसको औषधि मान लेते हैं। आज आप गेहूं को बोलते हो ना कि गेहूं के पत्ती को निकालो, उसका जूस पियो, इम्यूनिटी बढ़ेगी, कैंसर भागेगा। अब उसको दवा के नाम से बोलने में भाई तुम्हें क्यों तकलीफ है? बात वही है सर। वो कहते हैं सुश्रुत इज द फादर ऑफ सर्जरी, बोलते हैं ना, मॉडर्न वाले, सारी दुनिया बोलती है। और हम लोग जब सर्जरी करते हैं तो कहते हैं नो, आयुर्वेद वाला सर्जरी कैसे करेगा, सुश्रुत तो उनका बाप है। हमसे कहते हैं सुश्रुत को तुम मौसा कहो। अरे भाई हम कैसे मौसा कहेंगे, वो मेरा बाप है, तुम उसको चाचा कहो। ऐसे थोड़ी होता है, बात यहाँ पे है सर।
I humble request chairperson of seminar, Dr. Sakti Bhushan, to give his